Welcome to drum lesson number 1 in what I hope to be a probably several month series of teaching drums. As I said in my intro video, I've taught dozens of students over the last 8 years or so, and I feel like I've developed a pretty good system in teaching drummers progressively in a very accessible way that's also fun, from absolute level 0. We're going to have our first drum lesson today with no sticks or a drum set, because I'm assuming people don't have sticks or drum sets to begin with. And we'll work up as high as I can teach. Just a quick overview of what these videos will be like. They are not for entertainment. I say that because I have other videos on the channel that'll be for entertainment, like drum covers or songs that I write, things like that. These videos are purely for people who are interested in learning drums. I've had several students come to me and say, I'd like to take lessons, but I can't afford a weekly thing. And so part of my hope in this is to develop a series of lessons that's available online for free to anybody in the world who has access to YouTube who wants to learn the drums. In each video, I will set a very clear learning goal or learning goals that I hope to accomplish in that video. And then at the end of the video, I will give sort of homework that you should do or accomplish before you go to the next video. My hope is that each video builds perfectly off the previous one so that there's no gaps in the videos. So if you're going through this series and let's say from lesson 7 to 8 you feel like something was missed, say something in the comments and I'll record a video addressing whatever was missed so that the end result is a very fluid series of videos on how to learn the drums with no gaps in there. So you can help me out in that way. That said, the learning goals of this very first drum lesson is to be able to play 2 simple drum beats. And then I will give you 3 songs you can practice these drum beats with, and also what you should acquire before lesson number 2. The very first rock beat that every drummer I know teaches goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's what it sounds like on a drum set. It's helpful to hear what it sounds like on a drum set, but you don't need a drum set to be able to practice that. For the first 2 years that I took lessons, I didn't have a drum set. So I would set up cushions and things like that and practice on them, and then when I got to my lesson I'd get to play on a drum set, my teacher's drum set. But for now, just practicing on your knees. The coordination is what you want to work on. Again, it's 4 hits with your left hand if you're playing open, and on the first hit you play your bass drum, on the third hit you play your snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you're going through this, try to start out open because there are advantages to that. And if you find the beats get too difficult or so frustrating for you to play open because your left hand is weaker, then you can cross over and you'll find it's going to be a lot easier. But if you have the resolve and the persistence in learning open, way later on it pays off. Just one tip that I've noticed some people struggle with is playing your right foot and your left hand at the same time. If you need to isolate this first drum beat to the point where you're just working on that, that is okay. No one's grading you. Just do that several times and then put it all together. The first song you can play that with is Imagine Dragons' Believer. I just did a cover of that song a week ago, so you can watch that video to see how this very beat fits into that song. What's nice about that is the chord note is at 130 beats per minute, which is a nice, easy tempo to begin with. The second song you can play this with is We Will Rock You. That's at 164 beats per minute, so it's a little bit faster, a little bit more challenging. The third song you can play this with is Sweet Home Alabama. I'll put links to those songs in the description if you want to click on those and practice with those now. So you've already done half of the lesson. The second beat that you want to learn is going to be 2 bass drums and then a snare drum. So on the drum set, it'll sound like this. What that is left hand, right foot twice. Then both hands, and then a left by itself. It shouldn't be much harder than the first beat. but it is different. And this is the beat for We Will Rock You. So that We Will Rock You is the perfect song to practice this second beat to. Once you can play those two beats, you have started your journey of learning drum set. Practice those two beats with at least the 3 songs that I recommend, but you can play them over tons of songs that you probably like. Besides practicing those beats and getting more comfortable with their coordination, you're going to want to buy a pair of drumsticks. You still don't need to buy a drum set because you can practice on cushions and stuff, but what I recommend for your most kind of standard drumstick would be a Vic Firth 5A. And I will also put a link to where you can buy those in the description as well. That's it. Congratulations on finishing lesson 1. In the next video or the next drum lesson, I'm going to show you the various parts of a drum set, what they're called, how they sound, and also how to hold a drumstick.